Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
What's up? Welcome to the Betamax. Welcome to Betamax.
Hell yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Betamax. My name is Fidel. Joining me on this episode is Eddie, Jose, and Jacob.
What's up, guys?
Hola.
You didn't do your little... Damn.
I should have done that.
There you go. What's up, Eddie? Why y'all quiet?
I'm not, dude. I'm chilling.
You
You hear
okay?
that?
You okay?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I feel that. Been a long day, too.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
It has been a long week. What's up, Leah?
What up?
Got a live studio audience today of one.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Hell yeah.
Audience of one.
No pressure.
No pressure. I know. I feel like
But I
my
will be judging you.
of course. I'm used to it.
Judging from afar.
And from a close.
From within 2 feet.
She's a producer.
How are my levels? They're good?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
She could be the person who looks things up.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
The fact checker.
She's all,
Let's go.
fuck, I'm out of here.
I gotta go.
No, I am an expert fact checker.
Damn. We got a wanderer.
We got a runner.
We literally have a runner.
I'll be back.
All right.
Get it? Okay.
Well, while he's doing that,
Don't cut
But
it.
on.
so, hey, Jose's pretty whack, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
No, we were talking about the show when we went to go see Word, and yeah, like I felt the same way. Like it was like beautiful. Like, have you seen him before?
Yeah, I saw them when they toured. So right after Nothing released Tired of Tomorrow. Well, actually, no, it was when they released their split. So the We're Nothing split.
Yeah.
It was around that time when they were touring. I saw them at the observatory in the smaller room. Constellation room, I think they call it.
Yeah, because I was talking to Juan about it because he was there at the show too.
Yeah.
And I had told him, I was like, oh yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Word before. Like,
Dang.
and I was like,
could've
I've
swore
seen
you
like
went to
Nothing
that.
a shitload of time. So I think I was at that, but I don't remember. Like I don't remember seeing them.
It was in the smaller room, and I specifically remember hearing the. Do you remember the old guitarist for Nothing? The one who had
Brandon?
long hair with the
Yeah.
beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like talking shit like about like how many people were wearing flannels in the audience.
Yes. See.
I specifically remember him talking shit and like laughing about it because I was literally wearing a flannel too, but so was he.
Yeah.
That was the funny, ironic part about it. He was literally wearing a flannel. We're just commenting on the fact that everybody in the audience is rocking flannels.
But yeah, like I have no memory of seeing Word. Like I have, I've seen Nothing a shitload of times. But I was telling Juan about this, and he was like, "No, dude, you've seen him before." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, at the Echoplex." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I even DM'd you because like you were in line and you told me that I was standing in the wrong line." And he showed me the DM, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wow, shit.
Like I don't remember.
Was that
Like
like
I remember the DM, but and I remember seeing Nothing at the Echoplex, but
Was that like what, 10 years ago?
The DM was in 2014.
Yeah, so
Something like that?
That's the timeline does match up, because yeah, when I saw them, they were playing, or when we saw them at the Constellation Room, they were playing stuff from Sway. So I specifically
no
remember
memory.
hearing them play like Heavy. They played like Mumble, like a lot of those songs.
Yeah. Damn. So I've seen them twice before, and I have no memory of it.
It's funny because I remember being bummed out back then that they didn't play Leave or any of the older songs. So it was nice to, now that I saw them this time, that they played it.
Are you gonna go to the Modesta show?
I don't know, probably not. That's
So
It's
when
kinda
I saw
far.
when I initially thought that they were saying like, "Oh, this is our final show." That's what I thought. So that's why I was like, "Fuck, I kind of want to go." But then it was saying like, "Oh no, they're just it's the final time they're gonna play like old songs."
yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Which I would be fine not seeing them not play
Yeah.
those songs. I'm totally fine. Well, I think they said pre-Sway.
Pre-Sway, yeah.
Yeah, because like Sway and Up, like I'm more than happy to hear just those songs.
Yeah.
But the other like older songs are just a treat.
Like so, no, what is it? Pipe Dreams, no Distressor, no. What's
Around.
that? Around, yeah,
I feel like a lot of people, a lot of Weird fans sleep on that one.
they do.
They forget that one exists.
Yeah,
Because that was the girl from. The singer was.
isn't it?
She has this
Chris?
band.
Her name, I think her name is Chris, or she goes by King Woman or something.
She has a band. I think they're literally called Sadness. They're like a quote unquote like slowcore
Yeah.
band. It's kind of sad and slow like music, but it's kind of heavy. But yeah, I think they're called Sadness. I have to look it up.
That sounds cute. It just reminds me of Inside Out.
Thing.
Like if she was in a band, Sadness was in a band. That you just described the band. Like I had a picture in my head.
That's fun. Sadness. What a funny name.
No, but overall, the show, I thought it was amazing. Like, Nikki and I had gotten there. We got to LA like around 2 in the afternoon. And like, I parked at the Palladium, and then we went walking to Amoeba.
Yeah, because it's like right up the block.
It's right up the block. So proud of myself. I only spent $7.
What'd you buy? A pin?
No, 2 records.
For $3.50 each?
Yeah.
Jesus, what'd you get?
It was just some random ones. Because I was like, you know what? I am going to buy something, but I'm just going to buy some random shit that's like on clearance or on sale or something. So I first went to the books, and I was going through like the clearance section of the books, and they had some good shit. But like, I was being strict with myself because there was like some books that are like $14, $15. I was like, no, $5 under. Like, that's what I'm setting myself to. Because if not, like, I'm gonna go crazy, dude. Like,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah, and I was like, no, because I might want to buy some shit at the show. So like, I'm not.
Every time I go with you to Amoeba, dude, you have that struggle at the end
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I gotta put like 2 of these back.
Yeah, and I end up
And
spending
you're
like
like-
hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, no, I can't keep doing that whenever I go. So I was going through the books. They had some cool books. Like, there's one on like the history of women in horror, like horror films.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh damn, that's pretty cool. I think it was like $18. And then they had one on like Quentin Tarantino scripts, and there's a lot of books on scripts. But I was like, you know what? And then I went to start walking towards the movies, and like I started looking through a little bit of them, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna dig through these because there's definitely gonna be something in here that I'm gonna want, and it's gonna be super expensive.
Was it DVDs, VHSs?
Blu-rays, like
Blu-rays,
just, like
okay.
special edition shit. So then we ended up just going to the records. It was packed, dude.
Well, because all the people from Slideway were probably there.
Yeah, like
walking
there was a
around.
shitload of people going through the records, and I started going through just like the punk section, and then Nikki had pulled out this record. She goes, "Oh, like this is a band from I think she's from Texas. They're like a hardcore band. Like they're not like around anymore." And the record was only like $2, like $2 or $3. And then I was like, "Oh, I might get that." And she's like, "Oh, it's worth it. Like I think you'll like it." So I didn't even look them up, nothing. I just got it. And then I was looking through like the electronic section, like electronic music, and there's this one cover that like just caught my attention. It was just a tooth, and it just said teething on it, and I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Isn't that a band?
Well, the name of the group is Porridge or something like that. But that was only like 2 something, so I ended up getting that too. It was pretty cool.
You listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it. It was pretty cool. I don't regret the purchases, but yeah, it was only $7 total.
Damn, you were there all day.
Yeah.
See, like we wanted to avoid that because it sucks having to stand up at shows for that long.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, there is a lot of seating. You can just kind of sit on the stairs, and there's like places to sit around there, but it just sucks. having to do that.
The main reason was because Luster was going on first, and I really wanted to watch Luster.
I was
so-
bummed that I didn't get to see them.
Dude, they were fucking awesome.
I bet they were.
What do you
They
guys
were
think
so
about
good.
the new Amoeba location?
I like it. I mean, I
haven't been
prefer the
there.
old one. But it's cool. I mean,
Yeah, we've been there.
Not the new location.
Yeah. We went to go see Ceremony. It was with Joseph, and my brother.
it was at the Palladium.
No, at Amoeba. Are you talking about Amoeba?
Yeah.
The new
No.
location.
No, we saw Ceremony at the Palladium. We didn't see them at Amoeba.
No, I know. We saw him at the Palladium, but we walked to Amoeba.
Was he there with you guys when?
Yeah.
I don't think I walked to Amoeba with you guys.
No?
No, I must have stayed at the Palladium because I don't remember. I only remember us walking to Veggie Grill to get food.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the Palladium.
No, I could have sworn we like walked up to go check it out. Whatever.
Damn.
No, because I remember seeing it, and that's where it's from, and I could have sworn you were there.
How do you feel about the new location?
It's cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
But
It just seems a lot more cramped.
yeah,
Smaller, I hear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just missed the old location.
Hello.
Yeah, I missed the old location.
Yeah.
It just had that like I don't know.
It had a different vibe.
Yeah, I had a vibe to it that, like, I have fond memories of digging through like cassettes, and I found like a lot of really good like old hip hop cassettes.
Yeah.
And I was banging that shit in my truck and in my van like all the time.
Yeah.
You have some of them.
Yeah.
Nah, I liked the old one better for sure.
I think the ones I got from you were like Brand Nubian, Dell.
Yeah, no need for alarm.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a few from you.
Yeah, Souls of Mischief too.
Oh yeah, the Souls of Mischief one
Yeah,
too.
that was my favorite one, dude.
Yeah.
I wore that out.
Damn.
I know, dude. That's a good one.
No, but I do like the new location, but it does feel a lot like more cramped. I mean, the other one wasn't as like open either, but still, like this one just feels a lot more cramped. Like I said, when we were trying to look through the records, dude, it was like hard because it's just people like everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why it was easy for me to just be like, all right, this is what I'm getting. I'm out of here. Because there was just so many people in there.
Yeah, dude. Because I mean, I remember like at the old location, dude. It was 2 stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I
They had
remember
all the movies upstairs.
Yeah, and I would get lost up there too.
Yeah.
Like it would take me forever, dude.
Yeah.
That place was sick.
Yeah. And I feel like their like cult movie selection was a lot bigger back then too. Like now it's kind of just like
For
a
sure,
little
yeah.
shelf. Like before it was like rows and rows of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like the whole movie section in general is kind of like depleted.
Yeah, I mean, like I blame streaming for that.
Yeah. But they do have some bomb shit there
Hell yeah.
as far as movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. But yeah, we just did that. And then when we're like, let's just go get in line because there was already a line when we had got there. So we got in line and we were only in line for maybe like 45 minutes, maybe.
Did you guys buy any merch?
No. I bought merch for a coworker of mine because he kept fucking bugging me about it because he was on his way there. And he's like, dude, give me a couple shirts. Like, give me some shirts. And then I just fucking cut in line, dude. Because that line for worm merch was fucking stupid.
I know. I saw people complaining on Reddit for days and days.
It was a 2-hour wait.
Yeah. Some people waited like over 2 hours.
I just fucking cut, dude.
And people were...
I didn't care.
People were specifically complaining about people that were cutting.
Hell yeah.
I instantly thought Fidel.
Yeah, I did
I was
not
like, that's
care,
awesome.
dude.
That's awesome.
I did not
Hell
care.
yeah.
They were so salty about you doing that.
Because he was like, my coworker kept bugging me for, like, he's all, oh, dude, give me some shirts. And I was like, dude, this line is ridiculous. Like, I'm not. And then Nikki, she was already in line. So it was kind of easier for me to just, like, get in there because she was close to the front already. So, and she was just like, come on, like, just get in line. So it made it a lot easier. But what I did was I was just acting like I was looking at, like, what they had on the wall. And then once the guy was like, oh, who's next? I just walked up.
Smooth.
Yeah, but that line, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, everybody was just buying merch so they can flip it for twice the
Yeah.
price. Everyone's buying vinyls to flip them for like $300.
Yeah.
Their records are so ridiculous online.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've listened to them so many times. I feel like I don't need a physical copy, but some people really want that and they're willing to spend $500 on a limited pressing of Sway. Good for them.
So I have 3 copies of Distresser. So I have the original one that says Whirl on it.
Oh yeah, free
I have
will.
that. Yeah, I have that one. I have the 2012 remaster with the dog
The
cover.
dog, I like that
Yeah,
cover.
and then I have the bundle that came with Feels Like You.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's like
yes.
it's a
I
big old
remember-
bundle. It's
Yeah.
both records, a zine, and like an enamel pin.
Yes.
I got it. I think it was like 150 or something.
I remember you showing me those when
Yeah. You know how
Feels Like
much
You
that
came out?
goes for as the whole bundle now?
Probably like $1,000.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, dude.
Crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, they've really cultivated this kind of like, it's almost like streetwear.
Yeah.
They almost treat their records and their releases almost like streetwear, like the way like Palace and Supreme, they
Really?
build up this hype around it, and they only release a little bit of it,
Yeah.
small amounts, and then a month later you look online and people are flipping it for 3 or 4 times the price.
Because the bundle I have, it's numbered out of 100.
Oh
And
damn!
I'm just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Shit goes
they
for
do that with
$1,000.
movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like very niche, so
it creates hype, and
Yeah.
I get why they do that, and they've always kind of had this mystique about them,
Yeah.
where they're like, you don't know too much about them.
Yeah, everybody likes like novelty shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm pretty sure people feel like, oh, like I'm in like this secret club too. You
For
know?
sure.
Yeah, that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
To like collect, like, and kind of having like this niche interest, or
Yeah.
in whatever, however it manifests, No, dude, not surprised.
Yeah. But overall, it was a fun show. Luster was sick. Swerve Driver was amazing. I never thought I would be able to see Swerve Driver.
And it was one day.
It was one day.
One day,
Yeah. Started first band went on and they were on time. First band went on right at 6.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was Luster. Then the second act I had never heard of.
yeah. It was a hard to pronounce
Yeah,
name.
they were amazing. It was one person act. They were amazing.
That's sick. Like just like loop pedals and stuff like that, or
Basically,
wow, that's cool, dude.
it was amazing. Dude.
Yeah?
I was like blown away. I was
Yeah?
like, holy shit. Yeah. It was
Damn.
fucking tight. And then after them was Swirlies, then Swerve Driver, Nothing, and then we're.
I wanted to ask you, how were the because I saw that it was kind of a big deal that girl Wisp was DJing in between sets.
Mm-hmm.
Was she playing good stuff?
It didn't even feel like anybody was DJing. It just felt
that's-
like just the music over the speakers. Like,
That's weird because they like on the
Like
on
at the
set
supermarket.
yeah.
it's weird because on the flyer they made it seem like it's a big deal. They
Yeah,
have like
that's what I thought it was gonna
DJ
be.
sets by like the first couple bands in between was Wisp, then they had some other person.
Yeah.
But I know Wisp is like a big deal online right now
Yeah, and then she did like guest vocals with Nothing.
with that one track.
But it didn't feel like anybody was DJing. It just felt like they pushed play on like a playlist.
Oh,
Kind of
that's
like a
whack.
showcase or something, like
Yeah.
a venue. They're just having music, just filling the void.
They just like turn the volume up.
Yeah.
Like it's just playing, it's just always playing, and it's just like volume up when it's between bands.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I also wasn't really paying attention to that. So that's just what it felt like.
Oh man, I would love to DJ something like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, I would fuck around so much, like, and just see like what are people, to get people hyped in between acts, like, and just kind of and go from there. I think that'd be fun,
Yeah.
At least I would want to make it fun for everyone. That's
Yeah.
how at least the perspective I would have.
I'm curious. Would you the music you'd play? Would you match the vibe or would you change the vibe?
I don't know, like, you know me, man.
Because we were having this conversation because we stayed at her Leah's cousin's house in Hollywood, that literally around the corner from the Palladium, and they both DJ. So him and his partner, they both DJ,
Okay.
and we were talking to her name's Scotty. We were talking to her, and she was kind of asking us our opinion on that. She's like, well, when you're at a show and in between sets and someone's DJing, do you want the music to match the vibe or do you want it to be different?
You want it to be different.
And we were kind of like we were kind of debating and kind of like throwing ideas around, and I was curious what you would do.
I would make it different only because like it because then if you play too much of the same thing, like you just have to kind of feel out the crowd, like, because if it's too much of the same thing, then people can get bored at some point, like, and like, what if it's somebody's like first show or something like that, and like, so like it's kind of like, think about it as like a palate cleanser, like how you would when you like test cologne or whatever, and you would have the coffee beans in between. Think of it like that, at least my perspective. But again, like, it's also determined like on the vibe in the room, like how many people are there, like because I remember DJing at not like DJing, I put a playlist on, and I picked like a hardcore punk playlist, things that are like Negative Approach and adjacent, but it was like power violence bands,
Nice.
but like, so I wanted to kind of bring like to like a punk element because of I just wanted, the energy was there, and like the show was going to be so short anyways because the bands play such short sets. It makes sense to kind of just make it like one extended party with that vibe, but if it were me, something like that, dude, I don't know, like I at least wanted to grab the attention in the way where it's like, if if the DJ is being put out there as like someone who you want to see spin and be in the room while they're doing their thing, I would want to be noticeable, so to do something that stands out. So that might be doing something different, that might mean that, so like I would go to like hip hop. I mean, I would start with like go-to songs.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. I mean, most people are going to be into hip hop,
Yeah, like it's
especially if they're at a hardcore show or just
Yeah,
something
dude.
like these like subgenres, they're gonna be into hip hop.
Yeah, like everybody likes the Far Side. Like, you know, I would start with like, Passing Me By, and then just go from there. Just like feel it out. Like, are they feeling hip hop right now?
Yeah,
Let me
one
make
song
it
to test
dancey.
the waters.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I have like ways to kind of like, kind of feel it out. But yeah, no. Like I said, if it's your name's on the flyer, then you definitely want to stand out as if you're a performer on the bill. At least that's how I would
Yeah.
feel.
But yeah, it's kind of funny that got brought up because I was thinking about that because we were talking about that literally the day before the show
That's dope.
about like how like because she was gonna DJ in between sets at what kind of show was it?
For Friday night?
Yeah, what was it? She was DJing.
Banda.
Oh, she was doing.
Hell
banda,
yeah.
It's Banda.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to it, so it didn't really seem noticeable to me. It just felt like somebody pushed play on a playlist.
Okay.
So, but I don't know.
was curious.
Maybe there was like some intricate shit, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Or are you familiar with who that artist is?
Wisp?
Wisp? Yeah. Are you familiar with that? DJ?
I haven't heard their music, so I don't know.
That or like whatever they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. So maybe
I've seen the name a lot, but I've never.
Yeah, but you that might be it. You know what I mean? Like maybe you just weren't familiar with it enough to where it just seemed like background noise to you.
Yeah. I also got kind of fucked over on my hamburger when I ordered food. So,
How so, dude?
so
Who hurt you?
So me and Nikki went to get food. We both ordered basically the same thing: a burger, fries, and a drink. And then she got a pretzel as well. So, like they gave us a pretzel right away because it was already made, but the burgers were made to order. So they gave us like these little like buzzers, like when your order's ready, this will buzz. I'm like, all right. So we walk away and we're just standing there, and then like we had met up with Fern. He was there too, and
That's
and then,
cool.
Yeah, so we're just chilling. She's eating the pretzel, and then her buzzer goes off. And she's like, she goes, gets her food, and then I'm waiting. And then she goes, sits down on the floor with Fern. He's eating his pizza. She's eating her burger, and then I'm just standing there waiting for my burger. And then I'm chilling there with Juan, and like it's not buzzing. And I'm just like looking over at the counter. I'm just like, and I noticed the girl that took my order. She like looks at me, and then she's like saying something to one of the other girls, and I was like, I better go ask, because then I see Nikki's already done with her food.
Oh damn! She didn't even wait.
No, well, I mean, we were
Fuck.
hungry, so like I told her, I was like, go ahead, like you don't have to wait, like go ahead and eat.
Damn.
So she was already done with her food. Fern finished his food, and I was like, nah, I better go ask. Like I haven't gotten shit yet. So I go up there and I tell one of the girls, I'm like, hey, I'm still waiting on my food, and then the girl that took my order, she comes over and she says, I'm really sorry. I think we gave your burger to somebody else, so like we'll remake it right now. Like, so I'm really sorry about that. And I was like, oh no, that's all right, no worries.
How hungry were you?
I was pretty hungry.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm waiting again, and then finally it comes, and then she's all, "Can I get you anything? Like, you want another soda or like a water or something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I got a free water and a soda out of it. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's kind of like a good way to handle it, like to comp like something like that in the meantime.
How
you
was
know?
the burger?
Oh, dude, that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
Where was it from?
I have no idea, but that shit was bomb.
Yeah.
Was it
It
near
was
the
just a
Palladium?
regular cheeseburger. What's up?
Was it near the Palladium, like walking distance?
The food?
Yeah.
It was inside.
Oh, you had the burger there.
Yeah, the burger
At
there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was inside the venue. Yeah, that shit was amazing. Like, I was like, I'm not even mad about waiting. This shit's so good right now. I don't know if it's because I was hungry, but
The juice was worth the squeeze.
dude, that shit was fucking delicious. That shit was delicious.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
I dreamt about that burger that night. So fucking
That's the
good
best
it
part
was.
of the show.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how the weekend started for me, and then finished it off with Last of Us. That Sunday, final episode.
Damn. That's pretty epic.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's it.
epic.
That's all the time we have.
All right, later, guys.
So, did you watch the first season?
Yeah.
Like, or did you like binge everything?
No, I had already seen the first
You had
season.
already seen the
yeah,
first
I had
season?
seen it with Alexis. And we were excited for season 2. It's just hard for us to do that. Like,
Yeah.
she wakes up really early. So she she has a hard time like committing.
Yeah.
You know. But like in all reality, like I feel like I'm doing her a favor by telling her like, don't watch it. You know,
Yeah.
like you're better off just leaving it as how you remember season 1.
Well, okay. So, what did you think of season 1?
I thought season 1 was dope because I've
Yeah.
never played the game. So to preface that, I've never played the games. Well, I mean, I played the first game, but I only went as far as like a very beginning. Like when I encountered the first infected, I was just like, I don't know. I just it wasn't. It stopped being a game that I wanted to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like the mechanics of it, I found it too difficult, and you know, so I stopped. So that's as far as I know about the game, but I loved the series, you know, because it's done by the same people who did Chernobyl, and I loved Chernobyl, dude. That's a great show.
It's the guy who created the game and the show Chernobyl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Neil Druckmann, is that how you say his name? Druckmann or Duckman? He's the creator of the video game.
Yeah, he's the writer, like the
Of The Last of Us?
head director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neil Druckmann. Oh, I think you're talking about Craig Mazin.
Craig Mazin is from Chernobyl.
Yeah, he's the one who did Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But Neil Druckmann, he's the guy that like wrote for Last of Us, the video game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's tight. That's pretty sick. It makes sense. Because I mean, like, I really liked that series, you know, and I liked the first season of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
You know, Alexis and I watched it together, and you know, it was like there's parts about it that I remember very well. You know, like like sniping zombies like in the suburbs. You know, like that shit was crazy. Yeah, no, but in comparison to like my overall summary of season 2, like I don't think it's like trash, but like I know that like it's just not gonna. It's not this. It doesn't have the same rhythm as the first season, if that makes sense. You know, it's got a different rhythm to it, and I don't know if it would grasp Alexis' attention enough to commit to it.
Yeah,
I think she would be like, this isn't the same, you know. So that's kind of like how I think about it overall.
Yeah,
but.
What about you, Eddie? What did you think of the first season?
I thought it was mid.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember him thinking.
I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it was only because I was such a huge fan of the video game, and I think that's what kind of like there's a lot of differences or some things that they changed that I wasn't happy
So you
with.
Played both of them?
No, I played the first one.
Just the first one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I barely started the second one, so I'm not even like saying I played it because it wasn't like I didn't get far at all.
Word.
So, I did finish the first one. I love that game, and I enjoyed the first season. I thought it served its purpose. Like I feel like if I didn't play the game, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, probably.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, overall, I liked it. But
What about you, Jacob? First season.
First season was okay. Yeah, I thought the first season was okay. I mean, I had some issues with it, but definitely not as many issues as I had with the second season, because the way season 1 was written was pretty similar to the character in the game, because she was a little kid, 14-year-old. So her mannerisms and the way she was written was as a little kid, and it fit the timeline, and it fit the scenes in the show. I mean, she was a little more bratty than she was in the game. She's a little more bratty in the show. But you kind of realize later that it's kind of Craig Mazin's doing.
Yeah.
He kind of decided to kind of write her in that way. But overall, yeah, like Eddie said, like it served its purpose.
Yeah.
The first season, they definitely stuck to the core themes of the game. They added some stuff that was like sus, like the whole Kansas City, what was her name, Melanie Linsky thing. Like that was weird, and them changing it from Pittsburgh to Kansas City. I like the Sam and Henry thing. I thought it was cool, them switching up Sam and making him deaf.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I would consider that a positive change as opposed to it being negative. I thought it was a nice addition, and I feel like it added to the story more than it took away.
Yeah.
But Overall, it was good. The ending, I like the way they ended it. That was pretty on point.
So how were your like expectations for season 2 once you started seeing like the promotion for it and all that?
So there was a lot of hype about it, and because if you've played the second game, you know that it's very action oriented. There's a lot of action from the get go.
A lot of action, very dramatic. Like
yeah.
a lot of emotion in it too. Like
Similar to the first game, it grabs you from the beginning. You know,
I would say the second game is like heavier.
Yeah, I have so many questions about it. Like
the second game is way heavier.
Yeah.
It's very conflicting, but it was written that way. It's written to kind of leave you feeling like just morally gray. There's no good guys.
Yeah.
That's one thing you learn towards the end of the story. There are no, there's no heroes in the story.
Yeah.
None of them are heroes.
I've seen people refer to the second game as a human empathy test,
Yeah.
okay,
and I would agree with that.
like empathy, like as in,
Do you feel empathy?
well, like to see if you can kind of put yourself in those person's shoes in their perspective.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it tests you on that and it takes you to the limit.
Okay. I like that.
Like it's heavy.
So, and this is the game, right?
This is the game.
Oh, this is the
game,
game.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how does, in your guys' opinion, does season 2 of the show live up to that similar like standard?
It doesn't
I don't
It
think it
doesn't.
does.
at all. I don't think it does at all.
There's a few points in the show that I could be like, okay, that was nice and they did that well, but 90% of it, no.
It's interesting you say that because, like I said, I've never played the game, but watching it made me feel like that, like just the show.
Yeah.
Like there was at different parts, obviously like just like to see something from their perspective. I couldn't help but to feel that way throughout that season.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't know. So it's interesting how you say like it didn't do it the same way in the show as it did the game, but like I still got that out of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I found the show to be less compelling.
Really.
Yeah. Overall, I would say the game it definitely came across as less compelling and not as emotionally effective as the game was.
Is it like the performance aspect of it?
In my opinion, it's mostly the writing. To me, it felt like the writers were scared because the second game is very polarizing. A lot of people fucking hated it.
Really?
Just because
Okay.
of the choices made with like the characters in that game. Like a lot of people fucking hated the game. But so I feel like they were trying to like please the people that hated the game, but in doing so, they just kind of fucked it up. It just
people
felt
who-
lazy. It felt safe. Like they're trying to do the safe thing, but it just
Because they thought that like people who love the game would be loyal nonetheless.
Yeah.
But in their perspective, it's like you're doing something wrong with
Yeah.
the lore of it, right?
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and they were kind of at a lose-lose scenario from the get-go
Yeah.
because they were having to adapt a game that was already controversial. The game was very controversial when it came out. Like
There's
It
a lot
was-
of
it
there's
was
a lot of
insane.
shit in there that could like trigger people.
Yeah.
No, people were really triggered to the point where people were like sending death threats to just the face model that they modeled the character Abby on.
Yeah.
She was getting literal death threats. Just the face model, not the person who did the voice, not the voice actor, just the face model. She got death threats. The person who did the voice actor for Abby got death threats.
No
It was a whole
shit.
fucking thing, dude. People lost their minds
So let me
over it.
So we're doing spoilers, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hell yeah. So because the big takeaway I got from season 2 was just that like the recurring theme of revenge, right? And like how like it's literally just it's like a snowball effect with it, you know. Do they do it the same way in the game like that? Like is it that like dramatic like in
Yes, and you actually feel the need for revenge in the second game.
Oh, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, the second season, I did not feel that at all
Dude.
from Ellie, and the scenes where she was trying to convey that emotion. I feel like the writers put Bella Ramsey in a very precarious position by casting her for the second season. I feel like they did her they did her as an actor an injustice, but they also did Ellie as a character in the game an injustice.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel bad for the online abuse that that Bella Ramsey's kind of being subjected to.
Especially like the people they cast like as like the supporting characters around her, because they just made her look like a child. Like she looked like such a child.
I mean,
Around
she is like a growing teenager. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
She's
she's supposed
21.
she's supposed to be 21 right there.
Well, I know she's 21. The character in the game is supposed to be 19.
No, I was under the impression that she was much younger than that.
In the
No.
first season, yeah.
There's a 5-year time jump between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, so that makes her like what, 19?
Yes.
Yeah, 19. But to me, she didn't seem like a 19-year-old. The way they had like the writing for her, it just seemed like a naive teenager. Like she was still playing a 14-year-old.
I thought she was like 16 years old.
No,
Like,
they
this whole time.
they definitely wrote her in that way.
Yeah,
they definitely wrote her to come
that's how I
across as
perceive.
like
Yeah, that's how I perceive her.
16. Like the scene, like the beginning scene with like Tommy when they're like doing the sniping out, when they were like using the rifle out in the snow. Remember, I think it's like in the first episode, and she says something about being infected, and Tommy's like, "Dude, like keep it down. Like you can't be saying out loud that you're infected." And then she like, "Oh, I'm infected." Like,
Yeah.
just doing, I don't know. I wish I understood what they were trying to get across.
Yeah, I feel like it was her impulsive thoughts were winning throughout the series, like through that season.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's the character, if that's the way you want to like make the character, if that's the direction you want to take it, cool. Like, but it's such a drastic change from the character, right? From the video game character. It's like if you're gonna change it, don't half step. If you're gonna make changes, make changes. But like, I feel like they kind of picked and choose where they wanted to change things.
So she wasn't bratty like that, or like I don't know. Like,
no, in the game, no.
No.
In the second game, no, she was older. In the first game, she goes through a lot of stuff.
Like in the second game, it's obvious she like went through shit. Like the way like she carries herself, like the way she talks, like she's a fucking mature person who's gone through some shit.
Is the quarrel that's happening between her and Joel in the series, is that present in the game too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, even at the end of the first game, you can see the look on Ellie's face. She knows that Joel's lying when she's like, "Tell me the truth about what happened with the Fireflies." Like, or she basically tells him, "Tell me, like swear to me that what you told me that happened with the Fireflies is true." And he's like, I promise. And she knew he was lying.
She just says okay, but like the way she says it, it's kind of just like an acceptance of like, okay, he's lying. Like I just gotta accept that he's lying.
They leave it. They make it obvious that there's tension.
So
there.
they left it as like, oh, he lied about that, but he's not necessarily a liar. Because like that's how I got it from just watching the show, and it wasn't until when because the therapist was revealing that she's like, oh, like I'm mad at you for killing my husband, and I was like, maybe he did something shitty. Come to find out, that it was the way that it was done, and her compassion in that moment, made her feel some kind of way and caught him in the act, like she's playing it off, So to me, I thought it was like well done in that sense, to show like, oh man, like now, yeah, her narrative about him at this point is he's just a fucking liar.
Yeah.
Does it works the same way in the game?
In the game, they're not as, I guess, kind of ham-fisted about it. They kind of let the kind of story play. Something the second season kind of did was kind of just like blurt everything out in the open. They kind of put it in your face just so there's like no room for interpretation.
What did you think, Eddie?
Man, I don't even know where to start.
Because like you said, you barely started the second game.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even remember really like.
Yeah.
So
But so you kind of went into it with like no knowledge of the game then.
no,
In a sense.
aside from the obvious, where like I knew Joel was gonna get killed
Yeah.
because everyone. I'm surprised people don't know because
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like
it's
if I
all
didn't
online
play
for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been-
yeah, I know
It's
it was
crazy people
a
don't know.
big deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I don't think it's as terrible as people are making it out to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's good. But I think a lot of it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the complaints are pretty stupid too. Like some of them, like I don't know, man. They're tearing this girl apart for how she looks. I feel like that's like 90% of it.
It's fucked up for
yeah,
sure.
and it's so fucked up. And I'm like, what? I'm like, dude,
What
this is
what
like,
are they saying?
she's ugly.
It's mostly like she's ugly. She looks nothing like the character in the game, which like I mean that shouldn't matter, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of silly though.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think her acting chops are like up there. Where for someone to be like, I'm the main character, I'm gonna have to carry this whole
I
thing
thought she
myself now.
sold her like
Yeah.
performances in the first season pretty well.
In the first season,
I bought into
100%. Yeah, I'll
Like,
give you that.
when you sent me that video where it had like the laugh tracks
Oh,
behind
yeah,
the
yeah.
shit she was saying, like
A lot of it is bad writing though. too.
Some
Yeah.
of
It is,
yeah.
yeah, the dude, I feel like it would make some of her scenes would make more sense to me if there was a laugh track there. You know what I mean? Like I would have liked it better.
Yeah, dude. Because I mean, there was a lot of times where a scene that I feel like was supposed to have a lot of tension,
Yeah.
like she was just goofing around, like almost treating like oh, I can like no harm can come to me because of my I can't get
Immunity.
infected. Yeah, so like there was
She
just
thought
no
she was
tension
invincible,
going in.
yeah.
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
would just be joking around and like in the most serious situations, and it's just like
Yeah, like they made her seem
it
like
should
we're
be
like
fucking
her,
scary, dude.
yeah, whoever she was with like didn't have to worry because she can just like put herself between them
Yeah.
and like, you know, like
no, you can still
it
die.
was too
Like,
convenient, you know.
Yeah, you could still get ripped apart. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, after all the shit she's been through, I feel like her character realistically should have been hardened by then.
yeah.
That's a good way to put it. And they didn't convey that in the
No,
second season at all.
it almost seems like they went backwards with
In the
their
game,
maturity.
in the game, she's dialed in though, right?
Yeah. She's
That's
fucking frightening in
That's
the
an
game.
understatement.
Really,
Yeah.
It's an understatement
dude,
to say
that's
she's dialed in.
crazy. Because I thought just watching it, I was like, I feel like she should be way more like
They kind of like made her dumb too.
in a way, like
Very incompetent.
sometimes.
They wrote her
Yeah.
as like very incompetent.
Well, there was moments like that I felt like where it's like, okay, this makes like she like the way she's able her awareness on certain scenarios. I was like, okay, like that seems more like on brand for, you know, like considering like the times that they're living in. You know, like at the time that I imagine had surpassed, like she'd been a lot more well versed. You know, and there's a lot of times when I felt like I don't know, like how did you not know that?
Yeah.
You know, how did you not consider that?
Yeah, I just feel like they kind of rushed a lot of shit. Like the whole Joel's death thing. I legitimately thought the second season would end with that. Like
That would make more sense.
When
dude.
I saw like the second episode starting, and I was like, wait a minute, like what the fuck? They're
How far
doing
in
it
the
like
game does he
already.
die? Like, is it?
It's like
pretty-
45 minutes in, I think, in the game.
Yeah.
Also, it
Like-
happens pretty quickly.
Yeah, like
Oh, okay. So it makes sense then in that way.
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
If you're trying to follow the format of how the second game
Yeah,
goes.
like the way the timeline of it
Uh-huh.
works, like chronologically.
But they also like compared to the game. So in the game, they don't reveal like why they don't reveal that Abby is like the son of the doctor that Joel killed. They just kind of make you feel like, oh, she's just like part of the Fireflies and getting revenge because he killed a bunch of them.
Oh, I like it better that she has that connection. Then it just makes it a little bit more personal.
Well, no, they don't reveal it right away, but it's eventually,
Yeah.
it's eventually, and it's like
Oh.
it's very like impactful and like emotional when it's
Dude,
revealed.
That's why I was asking like the whole revenge aspect, right? To me,
Yeah.
it seemed like they were trying to really spin like this revenge factor, but like I was getting the sense of like they were just trying to put it out there like revenge is bad, guys. We shouldn't be revenging, right? I wanted to be like damn, like I wanted to kind of feel like I would totally fucking do the same fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
but I didn't get that out of the show, you know. And I feel like you're kind of like you're right. Like maybe if they would have maybe kind of followed Abby more, like in the series, to kind of like give her like that, see it maybe from her perspective or something, you know.
Well,
So that-
the way this season ended, if they're gonna follow like the story beats of the game, I'm gonna assume that the next season is gonna be Abby focused.
oh, okay.
Well,
Because
that's, how
it
they
is.
left it.
Yeah, that's how it is in the game.
How did you guys feel about the actress that played her?
I mean, I don't mind her. I feel like she wasn't given enough time for me to kind of make
Yeah.
a judgment on it.
Yeah.
I do like that actress. So, and
She's
I don't know
awesome.
if you noticed in that scene she has like the rope marks.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, oh fuck.
So that was a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, that was yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but the actress Caitlin Dever, her mom actually died like about a week before they filmed some of those first
Oh
scenes.
shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when they're like in that opening episode, when you
Yeah.
see them like by the graves and like they're putting the firefly
Yeah.
pendants on the graves and stuff, and she's talking about it. That's kind of why her facial expressions and the emotion she's displaying is so raw, because it was pretty fresh after her mom passed.
Yeah.
So I think she was channeling a lot of that. And that also played a role in why she wasn't able to get in shape and kind of bulk up for the role.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
why
I
one
am
complaint.
curi-
I felt like she was too like.
Yeah, because I am curious to see how they're gonna do that. Like, because there's a point in that, like at the end of the game,
So she's bigger in the game?
dude, she's fucking yoked.
She
Really?
is.
Because no, dude, she's like big, and there's a reason behind it because
Like-
like she's training to capture the guy that killed her dad.
Oh, dude, see, that's badass.
Yeah, there's like they make her physicality like there's a big emphasis on it in the second game because
So she looks like China?
she's but like when she's standing there, you can see her arms, you can see the
She's
definition
very
of her
vascular,
arms.
like
And all that is because she's trying to like condition herself to get in that position. Dude, that's
yeah,
sick.
it's supposed to show like how obsessed she is
Like Terminator
with
2.
revenge. She is just
Yeah.
so determined
Yeah.
to turn herself into like a literal weapon to go after Joel.
That's
and there's
crazy.
also like the moment in
like
the
that.
game where like at the end of the game they shows her again and she's just like she just looks gaunt, like very just
Withered
depleted,
away.
withered away. Yeah, so that's why I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that because she's already like kind of scrawny, so I don't know how they're gonna do it. She gonna look like fucking Christian Bale in The Machinist or? Dude,
Yeah, I'm
That's
curious.
crazy.
I'm curious where
I'm
they take
curious.
that.
Yeah,
It was
if
kind
they
of,
even get that far.
yeah, and they kind of they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot for certain scenes because in the game, the way Abby and Owen are, they're around the same size, like physically. And the actor they casted for Owen, the dude's like 6'4".
Oh yeah.
So he's like
He, like, towers over her.
imposing like next to her. So I'm like curious how they're gonna do some of those scenes from the game, like with her and Owen, especially because of like their history, and that's something they didn't really point to, they didn't really bring up in the game or in the show. They didn't really talk about their past relationship. So I'm excited to see how they take care of that.
How would you be able to like, what am I trying to say? Okay, say you have no knowledge of the game. The game doesn't exist. This is its own thing. How do you feel about it at that point? Like
Watching it, like watching through it,
just like as just a show.
I wasn't sold on her being angry. I wasn't sold on her grief.
You're talking
I-
about who?
Ellie.
Ellie. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on her grief, and I wasn't sold
her
on
grief
her
for
for Joel dying. I wasn't sold
Yeah.
on her like grief and anger.
It seemed like she was just like bummed for like a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of expected her to feel like a little bit more some kind of way about it, based off of like how, like from season 1. Yeah, it seemed a little lackluster.
yeah, like
And the whole thing too of like, you know how it shows like the flashback and she's talking to him on the porch, like and like he says like, oh, it's
yeah,
because
yeah.
I love you, and like his voice cracks, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So that's not shown in the game until like the very end because like it leaves you thinking that they never talked,
Oh, they never reconciled.
that they never reconciled. Yeah, and then that's why she's on this war path because she feels like guilty
so the
about
game
it.
takes you through this beat where like you sympathize with Abby, right? And then boom, then they drop this nugget on you to take you from feeling one way about one person to the next.
The game makes you like not know how to feel about anything.
Because they drop these bombs.
Because
on you
at first
the
you're
end.
just like, oh, I gotta kill Abby.
Yeah.
Like fuck Abby. Then it makes you play as her,
as Abby.
as
Yes.
Abby, and you
Oh shit!
yeah. So
Yeah,
it
so
takes
you-
you back, and you play as her, and then you start getting like this connection to her, and you start realizing like. You see how selfless she actually is.
Oh, bro.
And how much she puts herself to
It's-
save people. And
That's way more immersive that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude. How can you not start to feel like what you would feel in that moment?
yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why in the game, like the end fight is so impactful.
That's crazy because you guys go into it with this perspective of like, okay, what are they gonna fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going into with the perspective of like, damn, what's gonna happen next? Because I have no other frame of reference.
Yeah.
The only frame of reference I have is like how we talked earlier. Like, it's like the side by sides that I see like on social media, and in my opinion, I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking good, you know. But that's it. Because I mean, I don't know.
But there's only a handful of scenes like that
Yeah.
in this season that are like kind of side by side.
Really?
Yeah, there's very few.
Very few.
Very
Okay.
few. Like this, I didn't like the way that the narrative kind of focused on Dina and Ellie more than anything. Like they didn't focus on her grief, her anger, and her like drive for revenge.
Yeah.
They kind of, and I jokingly tell this to Leah all the time.
Becoming a family and shit.
No, it came across like a CW teen romance.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It like every time that they were in the room together, like it would make more sense with the laugh track.
That's what I'm saying. It made no sense. Like I didn't like
Like I can't unhear it now, dude. Like
Yeah.
like for real.
yeah, it didn't make any sense, and you didn't really sense that like that drive for revenge. Like let's go fuck shit up.
And like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so how are they not? I don't know. I feel like they just had the helms deep with fucking like thousands of zombies, right? To all of a sudden having all this intimate time with each other, going from where were they fucking from? We're at to Seattle.
Wyoming. So they're in Jackson, Wyoming.
And like not having encountered any other infected along the way. Like I was expecting maybe a little bit more of that, you know?
Well, even in the game, they kind of skip over. Like it shows them leaving and then arriving, kind of in Seattle.
So you don't even get to.
No, they don't really
okay.
cover that. At least in the show, they kind of showed you some like flashes of like them like traversing like different landscapes. They had a couple shots of them like going through the wild, which was
That's
like
what kind of
really
sucks
cool.
because I feel like they had all this time for character development, but like we didn't get anything out of
Yeah.
it really.
Uh-huh.
Like it was just like you said, like it felt like a little like a show for teenagers. And
Do you get to play that part where they do the Helms Deep with the zombies?
That's not a thing in the game.
No.
So the big thing where like all the
like
big
where they're
horde,
dropping the barrels in the
Yeah,
fire and
that's-
like they're
They added that.
that's completely new like lore.
Because okay, so
Oh,
when that's
dude.
happened, that whole like sequence in the game, Tommy's not there. So the people that get captured, like, because you know on the show it's Dina and Joel that get captured. It's Tommy and Joel that get captured, and Dina and Ellie are like off, like they're supposed to be doing a patrol, but they like hook up and like Jesse, that's his name, right? Jesse. He like comes and finds them like, hey, we can't find Joel and Tommy, and that's also what adds to like Ellie's like guilt because she felt as almost like if I wasn't fucking around over here, like I would have been able to get there in time to help
shit.
him.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the game, it's Tommy and Joel that get captured. So yeah, that whole sequence where they're like defending their home, like that doesn't happen in the game.
I have a question.
Really?
About so they have that whole thing. They reveal that they're at this hospital. That's where their base is, and they reveal that the infection down there is like giving out spores that you can breathe in and it can infect you. Does that happen in the game?
Yeah. Well, the spores were always they were present in the first game.
But I mean, like particularly like
In
at
the
their
second game?
base in the hospital.
Well, yeah, because that's how she kills Nora, right, in the game.
Yeah, in the game, yeah, the spores are present in the.
Because
in the
that
game
was
and
one
in
thing
the
that was
hospital.
similar to the game was like Ellie going down there to chase Nora, and Nora's like kind of like, what the fuck, like how are you not like coughing or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because I felt like that was kind of dumb. Like I'm gonna we're gonna build our base, but like don't go down there because like I feel like a lot could go wrong, and it was just like a stupid decision to make their base at the hospital where like the whole bottom is like.
Well, I don't think they knew that was down there.
No, I think they knew it was down
yeah,
there.
because they kept it locked up. Like they made sure like no one else went down there.
Yeah, and in the game they don't. I don't think it's a base. I think they're just there to kind of gather supplies for the eventual attack that they show in the last episode.
Okay.
When all the wolves are trying to like making their way towards the Scar Island. But yeah, they kind of make it obvious, like, oh yeah, like we can only go to the top floors because I guess in the game it kind of explains that the bottom basement, all the floors on the bottom lower levels were where the first infected were taken. So when the outbreak first started,
That's
right.
everybody was taken down there. So that's why 20 plus years have gone by of just nasty infection, fungal growth, completely overgrown. Yeah.
Is Tommy like chingon like that in the game?
Dude, Tommy's way more. He does a lot more in the game.
Oh, that's
yeah,
sick.
he's a lot
This
more
motherfucker
involved.
sniping people like
He's insane. Like I
he's
feel
insane.
like they've. I don't know. I wish I understood what they were trying to do with him, because like it's almost like they didn't decide whether or not they wanted to have Tommy in Seattle this like in the show version. But then they decided at the last minute, okay, yeah, let's throw him in there, but kind of like gloss over some of the stuff that he does in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a lot more ruthless in the game. The show kind of has a habit of softening the characters.
It's funny you say that because like it just makes me think like because I like one of the thoughts I remember having I was like, oh shit, like that fool's in Seattle too, you know?
Yeah,
Like so you get to kind of see a little bit more of what he does between that.
yeah, you kind of see.
Oh man, that's
You
cool.
see little bits and pieces from on during Ellie's go through of Seattle. You see some of the stuff that he's done, and then
Because
on
isn't the
Abby's-
reason that Ellie and Dina even go to Seattle is to get Tommy?
Yeah,
Isn't that the case?
because in the game, yeah, Tommy leaves to Seattle first, like the night before.
Yeah, he's the one like, fuck this. I'm going
Yeah,
after
he
these
leaves
people.
that night. So the night that
really?
Joel gets killed, he leaves that night. He heads off, and then Ellie and Dina leave like the following morning.
No shit.
So he
was
had a
more
jump on them. Yeah, he left before.
so he was more like
Yeah,
eager to go
Yeah.
than anyone else. Oh, I like that.
yeah. They kind of softened his character for the show.
That's funny you say that though, because I was asking about him being chingon because like right after that Helm's Deep scenario, dude, that dude was out there doing fucking farming shit with cows and shit, dude. Like, how the fuck do you just go from like almost
life goes on, homie.
yeah, dude, that gnarly, bro. I was like, this fucking guy's nuts. He almost died. Like, did he like? Do you get to fight one of those big ass fucking like? Andre the
dude.
Giant?
You fight several. You fight several of them.
Yeah.
The one that you fight as Abby.
The
when-
Rat King.
Oh my god, dude,
Monstrosity.
that shit is horrifying.
Yeah,
shit.
it's just that whole scene at the lower levels of the hospital are so unsettling.
Oh damn, that's
Horrifying.
crazy.
I feel like Eddie would have a great time just
Hanging out down there?
experiencing the lower levels because it's pitch black.
That's the thing. I felt like this show didn't have like there was no suspense at all.
Yeah,
And no action. There was no suspense.
There was like one. I feel like they wasted all their money on that one fight, and then it's like, okay, we got no more money for CGI, so let's not do it.
yeah. And the way they teased Ellie, they're like remember at the beginning of the first episode they shows her like basically fighting the guy that's like 3 times her size.
yeah.
So they were trying to like hype you up like, oh yeah, she's like, she's
whoop some
badass this
ass.
time around. She's like older and stronger and she's kind of she's had some training, so she's like ready for a fight.
And she
it
doesn't
doesn't-
utilize it.
yeah. It
She
doesn't come into
tackles that
play.
one guy in the TV station, and I think cuts his throat. So I was like, okay, they get like a little action there, but then
She kind of goes berserk on Nora too, but she's already like dying.
Yeah, it's like
But
Yeah.
even then, like I feel like I don't know. She didn't, like you said, like she just didn't invoke that rage. Like you didn't
No.
feel like that hunger for that revenge.
yeah, because earlier in the episode, she's like they're like smiling and laughing with Dina.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
talking about like triangulation, and like she's like Bella Ramsey and that goofy smile she does. It's like where's your rage at, girl? Like let me
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
I
was
remember,
just too goofy. Like she was coming off way too goofy.
I remember you telling me about in the game the way that her reaction was to the revelation of her being pregnant
Oh yeah.
was different in the game than it is in the
Oh
series.
yeah. In the game, she has a more
So-
logical response to it, instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a dad," like being all trying to like joke around about it.
Yeah, like she has like a what? Like you could have said something before. Or she's like how long have you known? She's like, well, I'm like I was late a couple weeks ago. She's like a couple weeks ago. Like we could have turned back. And and Dina's like, well, I didn't want to be a burden. And Ellie's like, well, you're a burden now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So to see
That makes more sense.
to see the show though, there was like the weird like reveal that she was immune, to Dina saying that she was pregnant, to the like that intimate scene.
Do they bone in the game?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
but
okay.
but it's at the beginning, so they kind of establish
It's
their
before
kind
Joel
of
dies.
relationship. Yeah, they kind of establish their connection and relationship before Joel dies. So they're kind of, because that's kind of like a motivation for Dina to go with her.
To go with her.
But see, in the show, what they did was they kind of established this kind of backstory between
Yeah, dude,
Dina and Joel
That's
as like a motivation for Dina to want to go.
I thought that was kind of like random, at least from my perspective. You know, like I don't know, like
Which is interesting because you didn't play the game, so I'm. That's awesome that you kind of picked up on that.
yeah, like I just thought it was kind of random. Like I would have loved to see a little bit more of like what had like from what left off on the first season, like more of like that drama between Ellie and Joel, you know. But like having that little like that where they were like kind of like buddy, you know what I mean? And I was like, who is this bitch? Like, you know, like she's acting back comfortable with this fool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like didn't he just like have like this crazy falling out with like the girl that he's like falling in love with as his new daughter? You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like, you know, like that's kind of what I wanted to have resolved. Not like a little bit of that, you know. Which I mean, like, I didn't mind it, but you know, but I was
The show also does something that I fucking hate, and it was a complaint I had about. Was it Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? That was the latest one, right?
yes,
Kingdom. Well, it's a similar complaint I had about the human characters. So they're in a post-apocalyptic world, and like, but Dina, her hair looks like all luscious and like,
Salon fresh.
Yeah.
And then the I think it was the last episode where Abby like sits up. She has lip gloss on.
dude.
Like,
dude,
what the
it's
fuck?
funny you say that because one of the things I wrote down, like, I was like, when was the last time they bathed? Like, you know, like they're getting getting all steamy, you know, and I'm like, damn, like I don't know, like I would feel, I'd be like, no, don't touch me, dude. Like, I mean, like I
So
feel
no, I like it
funky.
spicy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm putting myself in I think to me, it seems to me like, at least from like just only watching the show, they're softening the whole aspect of like this human shit, because I kept noticing like, oh, like they're starting families, like they're trying to like, it seems so like normal for everybody,
Yeah.
you know. It seems like as if they're kind of putting forth like this idea of like hope to like, you know, to repopulate. We want to encourage having children so
Yeah.
that we can repopulate the world. That's kind of what I got out of it. You know, I mean, and especially for like, and that's why I think like, and maybe what Ellie's reaction, like, I'm gonna be a dad, you know, because like she could have been the sacrifice to have found the cure to save humanity, but now that's in the situation that they're in, it's not that. Like now she has to kind of like encourage, you know, growing a family, you know, to repopulate the world. That's kind of what I got out of it, you know.
I guess I didn't look at it I didn't look at it from that perspective. That's
But I could see how that wouldn't translate well in the game. Like you want to get a little bit more immersive into like its grittiness.
Yeah, the game's very bleak,
That's
so-
what I'm saying.
bleak
Like,
is a good way to describe it. Yeah.
So I would have loved to have seen something more like that
Yeah.
out of the series, just because I mean, like I don't know, I wanted to invoke a little bit more like, you know, because the zombies to me, like I get the scarcity of it, but I don't know, I like the realistic aspects of them, but they didn't frighten me. Like I feel like they should. Like I want it, like because that's like oh fuck, you know, like if I were to put myself in somebody's shoes in that situation, like bro, I'd be fucking scared. Like every time I hear one of those in the distance, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die right now. You know what I mean? Like I kind of didn't feel like that. I feel like every time like I was like, man, they're just gonna like
I mean,
Get out of
they
this.
even have that like that remark like, "Oh, we've done this 1,000 times."
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just
what I'm
go in there
saying.
and do it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like as if they're nothing. Like there's like oh, like they're
Yeah.
like if like they just kind of kick them out of the way. Like they're just pieces of like
No.
twigs and shit. And I'm like, I don't know. I wanted them to be a little bit more like.
and like in the game, you're like,
Brutal.
fuck, I had to deal with this.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
stopped playing the game because they're so fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know, like they made it seem like they're like just like a supplement. It's like, oh, by the way, guys, this takes place in a post-apocalyptic zombie world. That's that's kind of how
Yeah.
it seemed to me.
And the way they emphasize the stalkers, they kind of made it seem like, oh, this is like a new kind of infected, a smart
Oh, yeah.
infected. You're like, come on, like
Oh.
this this outbreak was 20 years ago. Like if they're gonna show you runners and clickers, like
That's also
How-
not in the game.
no, that's all in the game. But like so the infection is stages, right? So there's the runners, which is like the first stage, and then the second stage is stalkers. Third stage is the clickers, the one where they're physically blind. Their fungus is growing all over their face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They make that clicking noise to kind of find where people are.
Echolocate.
Yeah.
Like so for them to act like in the second season that these stalkers are like a new development, these new like smart
But
infected.
they've encountered clickers though.
That's what I'm saying.
prior to
That's
that,
why it
yeah.
doesn't make sense, because if you're
I don't think in the show it's established that like Stalker is like the second stage of that progression.
I thought it made it seem to me like it went like just fucking crazy like tweaker zombies
yeah.
to the clickers. Then Stalker was like final boss type shit.
No, because the stalkers still have their eyes. That's when you start. That's why the stalkers had like the fungus growing out of their head, because that's when the fungus is really starting to like
Dude, that
grow all over. And then when it finally overgrows, that's when you get the clickers,
That makes way more sense
and
because
that's why they're blind. And then when you see the bloater, remember the bloater that
the big
the one that Tommy fights with the flamethrower. That's just an oversized clicker. That's why
Because it's
that's
becoming
why their
like-
face
yeah, it-
has no eyes.
yeah, because they're like it's like a mushroom
yeah.
Basically like
with,
an
with
armor.
limbs.
Yeah, it's basically just like fungal armor.
Dude, that makes way more sense. I thought it was just like the zombies sent in like their SEAL team.
No, they're just
That's what they made. That's kind of like what it seemed like. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Like I was like, oh fuck. Like they're fucked now. Like the Helm's Deep scenario is nothing compared to these guys. You know?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you because I know you're more familiar with the game than I am. Does Abby ever know Ellie's name? Because I feel like whenever she encounters her, it's like, oh, it's you. She just never says like her name
No, she knows it.
because she doesn't even realize immediately that Ellie is the girl that was supposed to have the surgery until Ellie says something about it. And then like Ellie
Yeah, because
throughout the whole
even-
game is just like, where's Abby? Where's Abby? But I feel like Abby never really knows Ellie's name.
That's true. She learns it at the theater.
Is it at the
Yeah,
theater?
she learns it at the theater. Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, in the game she doesn't ever say Ellie. She just says it's you.
Yeah, she always just like, it's you.
That's you're right.
Because even at the beach, I think she's when she sees
you.
Ellie, she's like,
It's you.
It's you. Yeah, like it's like, hey, dude.
Was that scene at the very last episode where she gets like washed away into that little island and she gets captured by that tribe? Does that happen?
So no, the short answer is no.
That scene pissed me off.
Oh my god, somebody made a video and like they put like SpongeBob music to it.
Oh my god, dude! I'm telling.
as she's riding towards the carousel. It's SpongeBob. Oh, it's dude. That season 2 was a fucking parody.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. Like that's another example, dude. I feel like that would have sounded so much better.
Yeah,
Dude.
and such a contrast. So funny going back to like Ellie. Remember the Ellie and Jesse scene when they see that Scar getting wrangled up by those wolves.
Oh yeah,
Oh, and
she
they're
was
like hiding
In
behind
the
the
garage,
dumpster.
they're
Yeah,
hiding behind the dumpster.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we should go do something. And he's like, oh, it's not our war.
And like you see how like she was like that. She had that like righteous indignation. She's just like
Right.
I'm gonna go do something about this.
Yeah.
that was completely missing for her like character arc in her revenge for Joel. That wasn't there.
She was a lot smarter in the game.
All of a sudden, you see this kid like about to get strung up, and all of a sudden, that like that sense of like purpose comes out oddly towards this kid, right? So she's like, "Oh, I need to go save this person."
That makes you're right, because like that makes me think, because I mean I honestly felt like it's kind of like it wasn't her mission, like it was like she was kind of just like along for the ride.
Yeah, so it's like where was that?
Makes sense.
Where was that drive the rest of the season? But anyways, it's funny to see that she was like, okay, I need to save this kid, right? To like, flip it once she lands on that island, and then the little kid sees her, and then it's the little kid who's basically like making the call for them to gut her, essentially. So it's funny that she like wanted to put her neck on the line to save that young Scar, to only have another like younger Scar decide that she should just die.
Yeah,
I thought that was really funny.
yeah, dude. Does that scene happen in the game though?
No, it doesn't happen in the game.
No.
According to Neil Druckmann, they said they were going. That was a scene that they had shot and like wrote for the game. That was a game they had like already animated and like worked into the game, but they removed it.
Oh, okay.
So they decided to just throw it into the show for whatever reason.
I
I guess
so
that's cool.
unneeded. Like it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it seemed kind of like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I love how that.
And there was just one. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, they have her like they're choking her out. She's like hanging from this noose. She's like 2 feet away with this blade about to like gut her.
Mm-hmm.
They hear like what, an explosion or something, or
Well, I know she's gonna
the
live.
whistle. Somebody whistled.
Yeah.
The alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh shit, let's just go. Just let her live with the gun right there."
Yeah,
like,
leave her.
Dude, like, is there gonna be a season 3? Right?
Yeah.
It got renewed.
We know that.
Yeah.
That one is confirmed. And
We've
then,
known that for a while, correct?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I knew that going into it.
After
Yeah.
the first episode, I think they officially renewed
That's
it.
what I'm saying. So when
Yeah.
I watched that scene, I was like, I know she's gonna live. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I just didn't know they were gonna like just let her go. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm
what
saying.
was
Like,
the point of this?
I was like, what? So
How is she
can
gonna get
like,
out of
So
this?
how are they gonna spin this?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was just kind of like, they drug me along in that moment for me to be like, all right, let me see if I approve or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just a waste of time. You know, when you could focus more on like Ellie getting revenge.
Mhm.
You know, because like Abby got hers.
Yeah. That scene was a complete waste of time. Like it was hilarious. Like because it's supposed to be like a mile away, right?
Yeah. But that's the thing too. Like there's
gets-
one big wave, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
She gets
the
capsized.
water settles.
Yeah, she's like
what?
from the pier. I don't know how long she was on the boat for, but it wasn't very long before the wave took her. And
I feel like I would have done. It would have been the same fate for me, dude. I was like, that's a big ass fucking wave.
yeah, and the island was really far, so she got capsized. The boat flips, and she somehow floats like a half a mile and
There's
lands
no
on the
way.
shore of this island.
Are there no sharks?
with the boat like 2
With
feet
the
away
boat,
from her.
2 feet away. Yeah, the boat just happens to perfectly land with her on shore.
Yeah, and like was that like it was a storm, correct? Because I mean that's how
Yeah, yeah.
that's what would make a wave happen that big.
For sure.
Was
Yeah, it's a
that
storm.
did the storm? Was that the last wave of that storm? Like I imagine if she got
No,
That was
capsized.
the
and there-
only wave of that one.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, like she probably would have died.
No, yeah, for sure. That whole scene just made no sense.
Yeah,
Wild.
shit was confusing.
Wild.
All right. What? I don't want to just be shitting on the show. What are some things that you guys liked about it?
I mean, I thought it took me like on a good like emotional like journey, you know, because there's a lot of beats that kind of like caught my attention, like the tension, the weird tension, but like also connection between between Joel and the therapist. I
Was
like
played by Catherine O'Hara, by the way.
yeah, Catherine O'Hara. Like I
Love her.
I thought she was a great.
I love
I thought
Catherine
she was
O'Hara.
a great character. I loved her dialogue in that moment where Tommy sits down with her, and he's like, "Oh, like how are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I'm an alcoholic and I smoke like hella weed, you know, like pretty much a fucking wreck. But you're not asking that because you're worried about me, you know.
Exactly.
And I thought that was like, oh, that's great. That's like,
That was great dialogue. I enjoyed her.
I would sample that. You know what I mean? Like I would use that for something. You know, like it's that good. Like so, like there was like a lot of like character components that I liked. I liked the whole Helm's Deep element. You know, like that made it like really like, oh shit, this is fucking nuts. You know, and then like I liked that it put like Joel in that position where he's like I gotta go back, you know, like that's like it's an obvious choice for him, you know. And she's like, oh, you know, but like we can like, you know, mount up or whatever. And I was thinking like, fuck, dude, like I wish he would just follow his gut, you know. So I was like sucked into it. I thought it took me on a cool like journey. One of the other thing that kind of like caught my attention was when they were talking about rendering duty. It caught my attention. I was like, "What is that?" Because they made it seem like it was
It's nasty,
awful.
nasty business.
So I looked it up and I wrote it down. So
What is it?
rendering duty, it's the process of boiling leftover scraps of animal carcasses, like the head gets turned into some sort of thing that people refer to like as head cheese. And it's to remove the fat. The resulting sludge produced, it created a foul smell, and farmers used to share this task, like back in the day, or do it together because it's just a very long process and it's just
It's
like
gross.
gross and foul and like grueling. So, like, I don't know. Like I've done jobs like that in the past where, you know, you're dealing with like a certain like process or whatever that has like a very intense smell and it gets on like in your clothes, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of a drag for like the rest of the day. Like you're not there anymore. You're at home and shit, and it's still just kind of like like you're still there because you can just smell it and shit, you know. So when I was like, okay, cool. That's I get it.
As a form of punishment.
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't.
could see it.
I wouldn't fuck with that either. You know, that sounds like ass.
What about you? What'd you like about it, Jacob?
I kind of want to hear what Eddie has to think because honestly, because I guess I'm curious for someone who didn't play the game, just how
Yeah.
they experience it.
I think my favorite thing, visually, it looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I think it looked better than season 1. And it's probably because they had more money.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy a lot of the characters. I do think a lot of like the problems with Ellie was the writing, but for the most part, like I think Joel was great. Even like the side, like you know how Jose mentioned the therapist.
I really
Tommy.
like that general. I don't know the actor. He's from Westworld. You
Jeffrey
know?
Wright.
I was just
Jeffrey Wright.
the one that betrays the.
Yeah.
The
Does
Josh
that
Peck
happen in the
scene.
game?
They hint at that happening. There's a scene where Ellie and Dina, when they get to Seattle, they find a Humvee like truck,
Yeah, and
like an
all the
armored
dead
truck.
soldiers and
They
stuff.
find a group of dead soldiers in there, and the note kind of references something about
Yeah.
like something like that happening, but they don't explicitly say that it's Isaac who did it. But yeah, it's kind of a little Easter egg that they kind of
Okay.
built that off of. But I thought that is pretty cool.
Is that like little torture scene in the game at all either? Where he's heating up the pans and just
No, but there is a torture scene. They kind of show it for like a brief second because like Abby and Manny have to go talk to Isaac about something, and when you're walking through the headquarters, you get to this like guard, and this guard's like, oh, like you tell the guard, oh, we're here to see Isaac. And he's like, oh, Isaac's in there. So they open the door, and it shows Isaac like has like you can see like a naked guy tied to a chair, and he has like a knife or something, and like Isaac hands it to like one of the guards and says, here, don't let him fall asleep. And then he walks out of the room. So they kind of hint at the torture,
it's
but they
happening.
don't show it like the way they show it in the show.
Yeah, because I thought that scene was pretty intense too. I mean, there's a couple little things I really enjoyed, but I think visually it was pleasing.
Yeah. I thought music was cool in it. You know, there's like some things that kind of like reminded me. There was like a moment like when like Ellie was having the pillow talk with Dina after they'd hooked up. that reminded me of music in Diablo 1, like when you're in the main town. And like it sounds almost very similar, but like I felt like it fit because it has like this tone to it that is like kind of like, you know, like gloomy in nature, but also somewhat like hopeful because it has like some major like tones in it that kind of give it like a hopeful yet like somber, you know, kind of tone. And I kind of thought like that was interesting because like, you know, they're like in a moment where it's post-apocalyptic, but they're having like this really like special moment of sorts, you know. So I enjoyed like the music choices in a lot of the scenes like that.
Yeah, I think they reused a lot of the same music from season 1, or they reused a lot of the game or the game music from the first game into the second season. So I thought it was weird that they decided to do that. They didn't use music from the second game; they used music from the first game
Really?
in season 2. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Maybe licensing shit.
Maybe is
yeah.
it different developers?
Same developers, and I think it's the same.
Yeah, I think it's the
same composer.
So then I can't imagine like how that would like.
Yeah.
Does somebody own the rights to one and somebody else to the other?
I don't know.
Actually, no. I take it back. The theater scene with Abby, the ending scene, that is from the game. That like it almost sounds like a heartbeat. That dum,
Oh yeah.
dum, that is from the game. Like that's taken from the game.
Does the therapist character have a role in the game?
No.
No, not at all. So like the scene where Joel kills the husband, so that's not in the game?
No. In the
Oh.
game, so Eugene is referenced in the game.
Okay.
So remember we talked earlier about Ellie and Dina like hooking up at the beginning of the game?
Uh-huh.
So out on patrol, her and Dina are patrolling through this little town. They end up having to hole up because the storm's getting bad. They end up having to hole up inside this building, and they go downstairs into the basement and they find a full like weed like growing operation.
Oh hell yeah.
And Dina basically says, "Oh, this is Eugene's like secret place."
Oh okay.
So they hang out. They smoke a joint, or they find like a mason jar of like joints, and they open it up and they're like do joints get old? They're like does weed get old? But yeah, they end up smoking some, and it's like Eugene's stash.
Damn, that's cool. Cause then like that means that like Joel's paying the therapist in herb.
Mm-hmm.
So then Joel knew about that and she didn't.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can say that.
But yeah, that's
I mean
how,
that's what I don't know. That's what comes to mind.
But yeah, so Eugene's referenced in that. Like in the game, Eugene is the one that teaches Dina about like electronics and how to like fix stuff.
Okay.
So instead of like Joel teaching Dina like in the show, how Joel kind of shows her some like electronic stuff, it's Eugene in the game that shows her some of those things.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, Eugene was like briefly mentioned, and you did find like in the game you find a photo of him and Tommy together because they were both like previously Fireflies.
Uh-huh. Damn. Would you have taken him back?
What do you mean?
Would you guys would have taken Eugene back
The character?
Yeah, to go see his wife?
Like if that was in the game.
No, just in general, like
Oh,
if
like
we were
in Joel's
if
shoes.
you were Joel.
No.
No?
Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
No, because because of the time the infection takes to spread.
How fast does it work?
I think they say like anything like above the shoulders, like if you get bit in the neck, you have like 15 minutes before you turn.
Shut the
I think
fuck
like
up.
he got
That's
bit like
crazy.
here, and I think that's like an hour. And you don't like it doesn't say how long he was like already bitten by the time Joel and Ellie roll up. And I think Joel.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, Joel, after 20 years or so of seeing this scenario probably play out a bunch of times, he probably just thought it wasn't worth the risk.
Would you
Interesting.
have told a lie to the wife,
Yes,
like Joel?
I would have for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I would have.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I feel like I would want to take him back the one thing to me is just like I just don't know. Like I don't know like how fast this is gonna work. Like and like am I getting like what are the signs and symptoms of this? You know, like is it in everyone's best interest that like I just and before he like you know like he gets to experience like still being him. You know too. You know, so like for me, I was kind of like, oh shit, like I'd kill that fool too, Loki. You know.
I mean, I thought it was nice he took him to see like a sunset.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
For his like last like thing that he would see is something like magnificent like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That was a good scenery, dude.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene. I enjoyed the addition of the Eugene.
Yeah.
stuff. I
My
thought that
first thought
cool.
was like, I'm trying to go camping right
And
there.
then being played by Joey Pants.
I know.
Hell yeah.
His like 3 minutes of screen time,
Hell
but it was
yeah.
still really good.
Hell yeah.
Am I tripping or was that I don't remember? Was it Josh, the guy, one of the soldiers?
Josh Peck.
Oh, it was.
Josh
Okay,
Peck,
I
yeah.
was like,
Oh,
is that
really?
him?
Yeah,
Josh
remember-
Pegg was the one that was like talking the most. One of the soldiers that gets blown up in the fucking little Humvee.
The one that was telling the story about that, the commanding officer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're they're like inseminating information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Josh Peck.
That's right. Dude, that fool is that's what's that actor's name?
Josh Peck.
No. The captain of that squad.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey
yeah.
Wright, dude. I thought that fool was.
He's one of those guys that whatever he's in, whether it be shit, he's always good.
That's why, like, when he was giving that speech about like him always wanting like, I don't remember the brand.
Those French pans.
Like,
Dude,
and I was like, where's this leading to? And it's like the camera pans over and you see
Uh-huh.
this guy just like about to be tortured, and you're like, oh shit.
dude, like that was a dope ass scene.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even like the scene with when Joel was being tortured, like I thought that was still pretty like wild. Like
Does he get stabbed in the neck for like the final blow?
No,
No?
it's a lot more gruesome in the game.
really? How so?
'Cause he's literally beat to death
with the
with the golf club.
golf club.
Really?
Like he's like literally just continuous hits to the head with the golf club until he's.
oh shit!
We'll have
dude.
to show you like how it goes down in the game, like
It's pretty gruesome.
the Joel scene.
Really?
It's gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's way more gruesome.
See, I would have preferred that.
And then like you just see like Ellie watching the whole thing as like
Dude,
blood
that
spurts
dude,
up.
that would justify her her mission so much more. Because I mean, like I like earlier, like I was expecting like White Earp and his homies trying to go like extinguish like cowboys and shit. That's what I was expecting. But well, I mean, she kind of did do that though. She did do that. But like I feel like, you know, like. I don't know. It should be crazier, you know, because I would have preferred it to be. It's more gruesome, you know.
It's way more gruesome.
because they put him out of his misery with like the golf club that was like broken off to like a point. You know?
I mean, I do like the fact that it was broken because it shows that like she was beating the shit out of him with
she
it
was-
to the point where it broke.
yeah, for sure.
It's like fuck, dude. Like
Yeah, but like even like the scene like of her just like impaling the back of his neck
Yeah.
like that and him bleeding out, you know. Like that was still pretty crazy.
It was
you
pretty
know?
raw, yeah.
Yeah, and like her just witnessing to that, you know, like no matter how like, you know, big or small that could have been played out, like watching something like that in general, like would have just traumatized somebody for sure, dude.
Ellie gets knocked out too, right? After, because remember when she comes in, she slashes that guy in the face,
Yeah,
and then he wants to like kill her, but they're like no, like just Joel. And then after like she kills Joel, like doesn't that guy he like kicks her in the
Jordan
face?
kicks her in the face.
Yeah, he kicks her in the face and knocks her out.
I thought it was like super scary for Dina in that moment because it's like oh I promise I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna give you like this sedative, you know.
Yeah.
And then like I put myself in her
That's
shoes.
way more terrifying.
And that's what I thought,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like oh shit, like in that moment you're like you're still contemplating whether or not like
Because like, how can you trust this person
Am I gonna
who's
wake up?
like has you captive?
yeah,
Yeah.
who's torturing this man right now?
Yeah.
Like I know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think at that point they hadn't started torturing him yet.
No, I don't think so.
No, they gave her the
They
shot.
just shot his
Oh
leg.
yeah, because they didn't want her to see. That's right.
Yeah, they shot. Yeah, she shot his like knee out, and then they gave her that shot.
I still wouldn't have trusted that shit, bro. Like
Yeah, I
that would have
still
been
would.
terrifying.
I still
for me.
would, yeah.
Because like the way that the anxiety I get, like I remember when I did like a procedure where they had to administer like the sedative to put me under.
The gas. Yeah.
Yeah. So, bro, like the anxiety that gave me, like just in that moment, you know, like so I'm thinking like that. Like these are people I'm trusting because they're professionals and they're doctors.
Yeah.
I'm in a setting, right? In that scenario, I'm like, fuck that, dude. Like, so I thought that was a really scary scenario to be in from her perspective.
Yeah, especially her not knowing that Mel is actually like a trained like nurse. I don't know if I'd call her doctor, but she's had medical training in the
Oh,
game.
okay.
They make it clear that she's had medical training.
So overall, what did you guys think of this season? Just this season on its own.
I enjoyed watching it. I thought it disappointed me in the sense of I liked this first season much better.
Yeah.
You know, so I was expecting something better. You know, because of how like how much it captivated me.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot about it that I had enjoyed and I had a good time watching it. You know, like I would like to rewatch it. You know, maybe even like look into like videos on YouTube about the game because I mean I can't commit to playing the game, dude. Like it's like in all honesty,
It's long. It's a very long.
There's
game.
no way, dude.
And
like,
it's hard.
Yeah, like and like I wouldn't want to play something like that around the kids. I wouldn't I don't watch it around the kids. I watch it in here.
Yeah.
Because like it's just not acceptable, you know. Cause
Yeah,
Ellie be walking around saying "suck my dick," you know what I mean? Like no,
She didn't
dude.
say that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, she does. Doesn't she say it?
I don't remember her saying that.
Doesn't she say that?
No, I mean she says fuck and shit like
You
standard.
know what? I have like a
Curse
vague
words?
memory
No,
of her.
she does, dude.
I have a vague, yeah. I
Yeah,
think she
she
does. Doesn't she say like under her breath though?
No, she says it with her chest, homie. Like
In the show?
yeah.
Does she say it to that guy that like says like who
To
calls
Jesse.
him to Jesse?
I think she says it to Jesse, "Suck my dick," you know, or something like that. Like in a conversation.
I don't remember,
I don't
dude.
recall that, but
I don't
that's
remember.
hilarious.
Yeah, it laughs hard as fuck.
That's what's up, homie.
Yeah,
well,
no.
she's gonna be a dad, homie. What do you expect?
No, dude, I swear. No, and like so when I
swear.
yeah, so I'm like, dude, like there's no way, you know. So it's unrealistic for me to think if the game sounds like way crazier and like from what I remember, like you know, I would need to just be way more engaged, you know. I just don't have the time for that, so I would have to like look up.
Just watch the playthrough.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Just watch the
I would
playthrough.
like to go do
That's
that.
just like 16 hours, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I would like to maybe do that and like watch some
It's worth
videos
it.
where people do like the comparisons and stuff and like and then watch it again, you know, to kind of see it like again from like a different lens, you know. I liked it well enough for that. I guess I can say.
I have watched a playthrough, like skimmed through one, and it's just funny because like you see people's like live reactions to shit.
Are these like it's like Twitch style, like where you can see their faces and
Some
stuff?
of them, yeah.
Some
Some,
of them.
are just like just straight playthrough where it looks like you're playing.
Yeah.
type
Oh,
of-
okay.
type
I
of
prefer
playthrough.
that.
Yeah, you can find those.
Okay.
But what would you think of the show or this season overall?
I feel like overall it was kind of a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To put it like, gently, it was kind of a flop. I mean, people, you know, I'm not the first person to say this, but they totally miscasted Ellie. Like she just didn't have the range to kind of get to really like encapsulate the character. Like she doesn't have the facial kind of range to like convey emotions, and finding out that she was neurodivergent, I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Why she has a hard time really conveying emotions with her face.
Yeah.
Like you could see like Dina and these other characters kind of outshine her because they can easily do that.
Yeah.
Like the scene of Dina, like when she's being sung to and Ellie's singing a song to her, like the facial acting alone from her was
Does
like,
she do that in the game?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She
Oh,
sings,
really?
Yeah, she sings her in the game.
It's the same song?
Same song.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
cool. Because I thought that sounded dope. I like that part.
Yeah, it's a really cool part in the
I
game.
loved how she had the heart eyes.
Yeah.
She sold that
But
shit.
did you see how like you could feel
Dude,
what she's feeling?
That was probably the strongest emotional part of the season.
Yeah, but just like I said, like all these other actors kind of outshine her
Yeah.
in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Like it's, I mean, bad writing, but at the same time, people need to be honest. She doesn't have the range Because, what did she do before? She did Game of Thrones, where her role was like very limited. She was playing a very like.
Plus, she was like way younger.
She was way younger, but she kind of had that like, oh, it's a kid actor. Oh,
Yeah.
she's like a little tough, like a tough little kid.
Yeah.
So she was kind of riding that kind of wave of people like, oh, that's cool. She's a tough little
That's
kid.
kind of why I want to see like some of the like I want to go review like the game stuff so I can rewatch it with a different lens because how you're saying like she had like a lack of range as an actress. And like
that blank stare she has sometimes, where like
but I thought she delivered like on some of the scenes where she would cry.
Yes.
Because I'm very critical about crying scenes because like sometimes people have like this really weird like I don't know if it's a method and it's like a twitchy eye effect, and I find it very annoying. And she didn't do any of that, and it kind of seemed like how her tears kind of just welled up naturally, and it kind of sold like her crying, and I think that's a big deal to me.
I think for me, as far as like that goes, it just didn't feel consistent. Like yeah, she would be able to pull that off, but like it wouldn't flow through with like whatever the next scene was gonna be. That she would like then go to be goofy and like
That's why she
it just
seems
felt very
16 to me.
sectional.
That's why I feel like she was like a 16-year-old, like trying to like figure out like who she is and be cool, but like she's also like emotional.
Yeah. What about you, Eddie? What'd you think of this season overall?
I think it was kind of all over the place. No, I think the biggest problem was what made season 1 so great was like
Talking
the
to the mic, homie.
relationship between Joel and
There you
what's her name? Ellie.
go. Yeah.
And in the second season, I mean, Joel's in it for what, 2 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they lost, what is it? I think it was 55% of viewers after Joel died. Like
Yeah.
they just checked out.
Yeah.
I wish they just wouldn't have showed Joel anymore at all. I
Like not even in that flashback.
No, I wanted to miss him more. You know what I mean? Like I wanted, like, cause I feel like it should just have been like,
Because the flashbacks in the game.
well, yeah. I mean, the flashbacks are cool. Flashbacks are one thing, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I expected something like, more. I felt some kind of way in the season 1. Season 2, I was kind of like anticipating some more of that, and then like it just kind of like underdelivered on a lot of.
But I think a lot of that was because Ellie's acting or Bella's acting.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't seem like she missed him really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Like
you're
that
right.
loss wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think the biggest problem was like they focused too much on her and Dina, and they just weren't interesting enough.
Yeah.
Like there was no like they were like the same person. They were so agreeable. There was like no dynamic
tension.
between them. So it was just kind of boring and
Which is why a laugh track would make more sense.
Yeah.
They also didn't really feel like as far as like skill level, like on an equal level, like our team, because it always seemed like Ellie had to be saved.
100%.
it almost seemed like Dina was like the more experienced one.
Yeah, like she was her babysitter or something.
Yeah, she was
That's what it
actually
felt like.
competent. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, like let's think about this. Like when Ellie has all her shit when she's about to
Yeah.
leave, she's like, okay, you have all this. Like, where's your medical supplies?
Yeah.
Or are you just taking just guns?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, Chucks. I mean, Chucks are cool, but like you need boots if you're
Yeah.
gonna go across the country. She just seems just like overall more put together.
Yeah, that part kind of made me angry.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have, like, dude, I would have been like loaded, dude. Like my loadout would have been too heavy for me. I would have over prepared. Yeah, and she's pulling up with like
Her PF flyers.
Yeah, they're
with hopes and elbow grease and a can-do attitude.
A light flannel.
What did you think, dude?
No, I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying. The same thing. Like, I did enjoy it. It was very weak. Like, did fall short from the first season, especially like I remember I was being very critical of people that were like kind of shitting on the first season, like with the whole Bella Ramsey shit.
yeah.
And then like it got to the point where like any kind of criticism that you have towards this show, people like lump you in with those people, and it's just kind of hard to criticize it because people think, oh, you're just a fucking misogynist, or like no, it's just the writing's bad. Like it's not. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of holes here. It's just there's a lot of inconsistencies.
I do think you like if you didn't play the game, I think you'd find it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Because I honestly think if I finished the game, I probably would have hated this season. I think I would, only because like there was still some surprises that kept me going.
Yeah.
But I feel like how much of that does a fan of the game have? Like when they already know what's gonna happen, how it ends, and everything.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like,
It's like what can you offer them?
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like a little bit like what I was saying about like when she got like with the rope. It's kind of like, well, I knew going into it that there's gonna be a third season, so like, I know she's gonna live.
Yeah.
Like, so there, like it's like there was no it wasn't like that edge of my seat element there.
So with that being said, how do you think she's gonna get out of being shot by Abby at the end of the season? Because that's how they end it. Like, it's implied that Abby shoots her. Because it cuts to black when you hear the gunshot.
Yeah, but they both have guns.
No, she threw her gun. Remember?
Oh yeah, she threw her gun.
She says like, "Oh, I let you live,"
And she's like,
keep-
no, and then boom.
Yeah.
So what do you make of that? What do you think's gonna happen?
What I think's gonna happen? Oh, I don't know, dude. Because I mean, I just don't know the story.
So are you gonna watch the third season?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm sure when I do like the game like walkthrough shit, like I'm gonna figure it the fuck out, and I'm gonna go in there with a certain kind of lens. But as of right now, like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it just because I mean, like, I don't know, I have to complete it. Like no different from like it Rings of Power. When that fucking
Yeah.
next one comes, like, I'm gonna watch it because like in my mind, I want it. In my mind, I feel like the people who are making these fucking shows are aware of these criticisms, and they're like online. They see that shit like we do,
Yeah.
like, and then they're gonna make adjustments.
Well,
They
that's
and at least that's the thought. That's the idea.
well, no, that's what they did for this season.
Yeah.
Like, as somebody who played through the game several times, they were kind of watching what they were doing. They made changes to appease people who were critical of the second game when it came out. Like, people were critical on the fact that when Abby, in the game, when she confronts Joel, like, people were criticizing the fact that she didn't tell Joel why she was there to kill him. That's why in the show, like, that scene, like, where she just kind of over explains why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
That's why it was kind of like, the hell? Like, it's like the showrunners were trying to appease the people who were critical of that part of the game. So they made a lot of changes like that where they were trying to appease people.
I see.
There's a lot of exposition in this season where, like, in contrast with the game, you kind of just, you're there for the story, and you like, everything gets revealed to you eventually. But like in the show, like it just dumps it on you.
Yeah, it kind of yeah, like where it kind of takes you out of it to some degree. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm going into it with like a fresh perspective. So like
Yeah.
like I mean, like, so I'm following along and I'm watching and I'm enjoying like these beats, But then like as I go, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like. There is a lot of exposition dump, like, I like finding out like shit at the end because I like that like, oh shit, now I have to kind of think about it,
Organically kind of
like, yeah, I have
reaching
now,
the conclusion.
now I have to kind of go back and like revisit like the way that I felt prior, because of this reveal, and like there just wasn't like that type of element to it, I don't know. At least I didn't feel that.
Does that whole pregnancy thing happen in the game?
What do you mean?
Where
Mel.
she has to make that decision. She's gonna bust out that baby out of the tummy.
Oh
No.
I
Oh,
don't
that part
think
was
so.
crazy, bro.
No, it
But
goes-
isn't in the game Ellie? So in the show, she's a lot more like it happens by accident. Isn't it more direct in the game? Like, no.
well, no. She in the game, she doesn't know that Mel's pregnant. She shows up, finds, she gets a drop on Owen and Mel.
Yeah.
Comes up and tells them, okay, hands up. Where's Abby? They're like, we don't know. She's like, yes, you do. You were just talking about her. Where is she? And then she pulls out the map, and she's like, you. She tells like Mel, like, you get over here, like, you're gonna point on the map.
Oh,
where
Mel's
Abby
wearing
is.
like a baggy jacket, right?
Yeah, Mel's wearing like a
okay.
big puffer.
Yeah, okay,
And
I
she tells her,
remember now.
you're going to put in this map
Yeah.
where Abby is. And then you, points at Owen, and then you, and they better fucking match. And Owen's like, oh, no. Like, because Mel's like, okay, I'm going to just tell her. And Owen's like, what are you doing?
Because
And
she's
then-
thinking like, if I tell her she's gonna let me live and like baby, you know.
Yeah. And then Owen's like, no, like, don't, like, what are you doing? Like, don't tell her. And, Mel's like, well, Abby's probably dead anyways. Like, whatever. And, like, Owen makes the decision to try to take the gun from Ellie. Like, he goes for the gun to try to disarm Ellie. Ellie punches him and then shoots him in the chest. Right? So after Owen falls, Mel whips out a knife and runs at Ellie. And then Ellie has to,
I remember now.
Ellie, grabs the knife and they're like wrestling with her. And eventually you get the knife out of Mel's hand and then Ellie stabs her in the neck.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And then,
That's
and then
way
because
cooler.
she's wearing like that big old jacket, you can't tell she's pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Ellie, after she stabs Mel in the neck, grabs her gun, goes over to Owen, and Owen's like, kind of like choking on blood and kind of spitting out. And she's like, where's Abby? And he's just like she's, and he's like, Ellie's like, what the heck? And then she walks over to Mel, unzips down her jacket, and then the bump. You see the big bump.
Dude, that is way crazier.
Yeah.
Because I thought that scene was crazy. That's way crazier.
Yeah, but I'll give the show credit. The way they did that, they made that scene fucking tragic.
Bro,
Yeah.
that shit good. And then
Yeah.
you're thinking like, oh damn, like now Ellie knows the gravity of the situation. Like it forced her to be like perspective on her.
Yeah, but like in the game, she just more kind of has like a panic attack kind of thing, where she's like, oh god, and she like kind of like has a freak out
Oh
moment,
my
right?
God, really?
Instead of like crying and like being all weird, like the way Bella Ramsey was in that scene. Like, yeah, she's a lot more like kind of distraught and kind of just like lost, like where like you just hear like in the audio is like droning like noise, like she's like in her head.
Like shell shock?
Yeah, like shell shock. And she's just like freaking out. And then like Tommy and Jesse walk in and Ellie's just like so lost into it. She pulls out her gun and like just about to like shoot Tommy. And Tommy's like, whoa, like it's us.
Dude.
So she's like super traumatized.
All right, I'm going to abandon my family and play this game. Like that's super crazy.
Yeah, the way it goes down in the. But I like the way they did it in the show. I don't like the
Yeah,
fact that
I
it was
did.
an accident. I don't like the fact that it was an accident that she killed Mel.
I
But
don't mind that because I'm like, oh shit, you know?
It made it super tragic, and you're like, damn, that could really happen.
No, dude, that bummed me the fuck out. I was like, oh damn, like
Especially her like saying like, oh, is it
Ellie
out?
would have understood.
Like, oh,
Ellie would have understood it. If like had she lived, like they could have been like, oh, like my girlfriend's pregnant too. Like I know, like she could have sympathized with her more.
Yeah, it was heart wrenching. So that's why when I didn't like I might be skipping around, but like the scene at the theater, because I thought Abby did a really good job with that scene at the theater. Like the way Jesse runs in and he gets shot, that's like perfectly portrayed in the show.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
exactly
that's
how
how
it
it
goes
is.
down in the game.
Fucking gnarly.
They did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I did not like the way I didn't like Bella Ramsey's kind of mannerisms and the way she acted in that scene. The way she looked like kind of like scared and like frightened. How she was like kind of crying. I really didn't like seeing her
was,
kind
like,
of
cowering a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like crying and just like frightened.
She'd be more hardened a little bit.
In the game, she's
Yeah.
more just like telling her
fuck.
like she's more just like hey, like I know why you killed Joel. Like he did what he did to save me. Like I'm the one that you want. Like just let him go.
Yeah, it's like
She's
more
kinda-
like diffusing.
Yeah, like more diplomatic in
Yeah.
Yeah, not like distraught, crying. Like I thought that was weird.
Oh damn.
So they
Dude, that's tripping me out, bro.
They really softened almost every character. They kind of softened. They just kind of.
Ellie especially.
That blows my mind. How do you feel about that?
See, that's like another reason. I'm kind of glad I didn't play the game, dude.
Dude, that's funny because I'm like mind blown by what you're telling me. You know?
Yeah, I do think that the show would have benefited with if she was more rage filled
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
for sure.
like just a little more serious, took shit more serious. It would have made the scenes with the infected like a lot more tension filled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the dynamic between her and Dina could have been a lot better,
Yeah.
especially because they had like so many episodes focused on just them talking.
Yeah, it was just like husband and wife and shit.
Yeah, but
Like in their.
but you didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing there.
Yeah, there's no payoff. The pacing.
Yeah.
I mean, they only had 7 episodes, so the pacing was off.
Yeah.
Technically, they only had 6 episodes of like actual stuff because
That was a
episode 6
flashback.
was just a flashback. That was
flashback,
just
yeah.
kind of like,
Oh yeah.
okay,
Which I thought that was cool.
it was.
Yeah, no, it was.
And I'll give them credit for that. Those scenes were, the scenes that they plucked from the game were great. Like the scene of like the astronaut scene when they're in that little,
Oh, yeah.
that scene was really cool. And like
Yeah.
that was really touching.
That's not in the game.
No, that is.
No,
Oh,
that-
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they plucked that directly from the game.
Oh really?
So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a handful of things they plucked directly
Dude.
from the game, and it lands. You're like, okay, they did this very well. It's when they deviate and change things, because they change like foundational things that kind of affects the entire show.
Yeah. All right, so you're watching season 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
What about you, Eddie? You're gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm pretty invested in it.
What about you, Lihia? You're gonna watch it?
I'm obligated.
Yeah,
I
there's,
have to see it through.
Yeah, I gotta see it through.
there's a level.
And then
of
he's saying like
obligation,
there's gonna be a season 4 now too,
Really?
because he's saying like he's not confirmed, but Neil Druckmann was saying like he feels that they're gonna need to do a season 4 so they could tell the whole story of the second game. So the second
Okay,
game
because of
basically
how
gonna be 3
nuanced it is?
seasons, yeah. Which I get, because I do. If that's the case, then that to me confirms that the next season is gonna be Abby based.
So there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge chunk of the game that's just dedicated to Abby.
yeah,
Yeah, half of the game.
yeah,
Oh shoot! So,
Yeah,
okay.
half of the
yeah.
game.
Half the game is dedicated to Abby.
So a whole season for her
Dude.
would make sense.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
So like that's what I think is gonna happen. The next season will just be all Abby, and the season after that will be from the theater on. Yeah,
well, hopefully they do it in
Yeah.
a way where they make like where this season seems so rushed for a reason, maybe. You know?
They had the choice to make it longer, Craig Mazin, and decided to only make it 7 episodes. He made that choice.
yeah, it's weird.
Everybody was kind of blaming like Warner Brothers and HBO for making that choice, but no, it was Craig Mazin. He decided to only make it 7 episodes.
Interesting.
Chernobyl, motherfucker. Have you seen that show, by the way?
Chernobyl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, do you guys have any, before I end it, any like last things you want to
Wait, so
mention?
you guys both know what happens after that cliffhanger, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm curious.
Want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
Some people don't mind spoilers.
Ellie becomes a dad.
Damn.
Damn.
See everybody next time.